Have you ever wondered what it feels like to step into a place where time seems to slow down and nature's beauty takes your breath away? Welcome to the Cotswolds, a stunning part of England that feels like it's straight out of a fairy tale. It's not hard to imagine knights on horseback riding through these very same meadows. If you are new here, we are Ruth and Martin, and we are on a journey to explore and experience as much of what this beautiful planet, our home, so graciously offers up. And now we have 3 days to uncover the timeless beauty of the Cotswolds, with its rambling paths, ancient villages, inviting pubs, and views that make us pause to take it all in. And discover why this region is truly one of England's finest. Who says the weather in England is always bad? It couldn't get any better than this. Brilliant sunshine. Good morning from Chipping Campden. We have made it to the Cotswolds, and it is such a glorious day. The weather could not be more perfect, and we are in March, and we're starting our trip here in the Cotswolds in Chipping Campden, a typical Cotswold town with a big market hall and stone buildings from, I don't know, 1800s, 1700s. It is gorgeous.
You can tell it's really quiet here because the market hall is completely empty right now.
Our plan for the next 3 days is to do several hikes along the 102-mile Cotswold Way. It's easy to find the trail for the Cotswold Way. You just follow the signs, and it's really well signposted.
Hi.
We're doing the Chipping Campden to Dover Hill hike. The first section of the hike is on uphill grade, up a dirt road. A little out of breath. Already the views are spectacular.
Some you shear for their wool. Others are for dinner.
Which ones are you? To Dover Hill. Who knew in March in the Cotswolds in England it would be this nice? But I think we really lucked out in the weather. First signs of spring are already here. We got some buds on the rose bushes.
So far, this walk is great. It's not really hard. There was just the one uphill part in the beginning. Now it's flat.
So when we're in a field where there's a bunch of sheep, what do we have to look out for?
Sheep.
Sheep poop. The views out here are amazing. They just go on for miles and miles.
So while the trails are really marked well, the hike that we had planned out, we actually made a wrong turn. So we were supposed to make a turn further back on a footpath from the Cotswold Way and go down and walk through this little forest here of trees and then back around.
Even though we took the wrong turn earlier, we decided to do the reverse of the loop. So now we're down by the forest and the trees. While the weather is beautiful today, it's a little slippery. It still is a little bit wet, and you have to watch your footing. We got lots of mud. Watch out for your shoes. Whoa.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Oh, damn.
Your shoes all muddy?
Yeah, that'll teach me for not having proper hiking boots. Take the long way.
We've emerged from the forest. And now we have to climb up the hill. There's the marker.
We're going the right way.
There's the kissing gate. We grabbed a quick lunch at a little cafe back in Chipping Campden before a short drive to another charming Cotswold town. That was a yummy lunch. Now for another hike. So I always say the destination is worth the journey, but I also think the journey is worth the destination because it's so pretty driving in between all these little towns.
I don't think we're quite ambitious enough yet to do the entire 100-mile Cotswold Way walk.
No, so these little small chunks, 4 miles, 5 miles, 6 mile hikes, and that are loops so you can get back to your vehicle are perfect. So we've just arrived in Broadway, and we're gonna head up to, I think, the second highest point here in the Cotswolds. So it's gonna be a little bit of an elevation change, but that should be fun. The more time we spend traveling, the more we are pulled to visit the small towns and countryside than the big cities. There's just something about the quiet and calm that draws us in, and Broadway is one of those places. I think someone's trying to escape. So we've done the easy part, which was across the fields. Now, I think it's our slow climb straight up to the top where the tower sits. Not sure if this was a great idea after a beer at lunch, but maybe I can burn the calories off so I can have another one. So we took a wrong turn somewhere because we're supposed to be clear across this other field. We're not sure where we went wrong. We're gonna keep going because it looks like there's another path that will cross us over to where we should be. At least fingers crossed, otherwise we have to walk all the way back down. Okay, I think we found the pathway. We've come a different direction. I'm not sure if it was a harder direction, but we're making our way now up to the tower. So all is well, and in the end, we've got these magnificent 360 views. It's gorgeous, gorgeous mistake of a hike. I see the tower. We made it to the top. Built as an expression of love by a lord to his lady, the tower has a commanding view over the Cotswolds. Well, on a clear day, it says you can see, I think, 13 counties.
Yep.
And even, I think, Wales. So there's Broadway Tower. And there's the town of Broadway. That's where we're heading back to.
If you're into it, this would be a pretty cool mud slip and slide.
Oh, yeah. So we just came about, I don't know, halfway down, and now we've got this amazing view of the town. It is beautiful. We keep saying that, but it just takes your breath away every single time you look out at this vistas. Rolling hills, small, quaint villages, old stone churches, stone walls going down through, and you've got your livestock, the sheep, cows, and horses. Absolutely stunning. Hi.
Super cute, the babies. And they all stick with their mom. And they're all numbered. So they're number coordinated with their mother.
Can I do it? 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 Go ahead. Cheers.
Cheers. We deserve this after all of our hiking today.
There is so much on the menu, I have no idea what to choose from. It all looks so good, especially there's a tons of starters that we could just eat 5 or 6 different of those.
We're going to get a variety. We're going to get 3 different appetizers to share, and then 1 main entree to share. First appetizer we got is wild mushrooms on brioche, and there's different kinds of mushrooms, so it's not just one. I think they have a few different types of mushrooms.
Really good.
A winner, winner, winner.
And then we have Welsh rarebit, which is 2 types of cheeses that are grilled on top of fresh sourdough. And then Scotch egg, which is an egg surrounded by sausage meat and then fried. Is it the healthiest dish? No. But does it sound delicious and look delicious? Yes, and probably is delicious. The sharpness to the cheese, but not overwhelming. And it's melted perfectly. Beautifully fresh bread. It's wonderful. I could eat just this. I think there's a balsamic on it as well. It's great. Try the Scotch egg. sausage meat. And this is nice, but that egg is like perfectly cooked inside. The yolks are still jammy. Yum. This looks delicious. Oh, the lamb looks perfect. The sauce looks so rich and indulgent. Super tender lamb. The gravy, the sauce is really rich. This was the right call.
Lamb is not something I would typically order at a restaurant, mainly because a lot of times when I was younger, I would have lamb, and it was really strong, pungent flavor. But this is super mild. Meat just falls apart. It's really delicious.
What do we got?
So this is kind of a version of a sticky toffee. It's a date and black treacle. So I'm going to taste a little bit of the sauce first. And honestly, it tastes almost like a butterscotchy kind of sauce, the cake.
I can smell it.
It tastes like a sticky toffee. It's delicious. And salted caramel ice cream never sucks. It's always delicious.
I think it's safe to say we did not like that dessert at all. Off the charts. How good that is. So it's another beautiful day here in the Cotswolds, and on day 2 we're going to try a 6-mile hike. There is a shorter version, so when we hit the fork in the road, we'll decide how we feel. But this is a beautiful town of Stanton, and we're going to go over to Snows Hill, which is supposed to be just as pretty.
Looking at all these houses and how cute they are, everybody always seems to strive for perfection. But all of these old houses are clearly very, very imperfect. But I think that's what gives it its charm.
I'm glad they haven't gotten rid of all the old British phone boxes. They're so iconic, and they're now being repurposed into informational booths, little lending libraries. It's just neat that they recycled them to another purpose as opposed to just getting rid of them all. Hi, are you having your breakfast? They don't eat on the top. They have to dig in all the way into the middle.
Uphill.
It's a little slippery. Be careful.
We're now heading into the forest. Completely different from yesterday, which is nice. We will have, I think, some open plain areas, but this one takes us through some forest, which is kind of cool. As we can figure out the gate.
All right, let's see if you can get it. Oh, of course. Don't know why. It was easy. I was pushing the right way and...
Not good news. I think I rolled my ankle coming up this little hill here, and it doesn't feel great. Going down is not, I think, a good option. So we're going to continue up to the cutoff for the return, and I think just do the short version, because I don't know if I can make it to standstill. No, what's it called? Snows Hill. I don't remember what
You're
it's
at a standstill.
I'm at a standstill. And we'll continue on up and see how far I can keep going. All right, we're at a crossroads. I think we're gonna keep going, head down into Snows Hill. My ankle feels good. There's some pain when I move it a certain way, but for the most part, it feels okay. So I don't want to give up on the hike. I want to keep going. Let's go.
We're going to power through.
We're going to power through. Oh, I changed my mind. I'm just kidding. We go through the farm buildings. It's nice that we have here in England all these public right-of-ways to walk through. If you're the homeowner, maybe you don't enjoy it so much that people can walk through your property. I mean, it feels weird to be walking through somebody's farmland.
Yeah.
But we took the path that said public right-of-way, and it's weird is that they've had to arrange their crops with this pathway in mind. It goes smack dab down the middle of the field. At least this ground here is hard-packed dry, so no slipping happening here. So there's a pub here in Snows Hill. I think that's where we're gonna go for lunch. Nothing could be better than being in the Cotswolds than a walk at a pub.
It's so quiet that I feel like I need to whisper.
2 seconds later.
You were saying about the quiet?
Yeah, it was quiet.
Most charming towns I think we've been in. This is gorgeous. It's so quaint and cute. Just a few people about. But now we're going to head into the pub and get a beer and some lunch.
This could be a mistake on the hike back, but it is good going down.
All right, that was a very delightful lunch, but now we got to walk back. There's a slightly different way we can take, which we're going to try and take, and hopefully it's a little easier, especially on the downhill. It's not so slippery, but we will see. We
Made it back.
made it back. It was so much easier coming down. It was dry, except for that last 50 feet, 75 feet where it was muddy. It was not super steep. That would have been the easy way to go, which is a footpath right by the Mount Inn parking lot. And the footpath is right over there. What we did was more varied, I think, in terrain and types of areas and things and vistas to look at.
And I think it would have been fine if it weren't so muddy. That's what kind of killed us in the beginning, was the mud.
Anyway, we're gonna head back. We gotta clean our clothes here. We got mud all over them and call it a day, maybe with a pint later. But I think for today we're done. Oh, you want me? Okay. Hi. If you're a fan of Top Gear, the Grand Tour, and Clarkson's Farm, like us, then you'll want to come here.
I have absolutely no clue.
I got a pint of their Hawkson Session. We've got a tea because it is still early. It's about 10:15. But here in England, you can drink whatever you want, apparently. So cheers. It's actually really good.
These are super delicious, super flavorful. Just a little dip in a little brown sauce would be great.
There are signs up because they're going to be filming here over the next few days. So if you don't want to be filmed, leave the property, essentially. One of the show's featured personalities is also here. All right, that was a lot of fun. A couple early morning pints, but we have some towns to explore and we can't just sit here all day, even though that would be really pleasant. We're gonna head over to Bourton-on-the-Water. Not far down the road, we came across a hidden surprise. It would have been so easy for us to drive right past. It's hidden by a hedge, and if Ruth hadn't seen it on Google Maps, we'd never known it was here.
We are in the Roll Right Stones.
So not the Rolling Stones.
Not the Rolling Stones, the Roll Right Stones.
All right, let's go check out the stones.
It's amazing to me that these stones, they can figure out and track that they are just thousands of years old.
This is really cool that these stones were placed here 3,000 years ago and we get to be in the center of them. Can you hear the buzzing?
I can hear the buzzing.
Okay.
I'm gonna go see Jamie.
With Ruth magically returned, we continued on. Before reaching Bourton-on-the-Water, we made a quick side trip to pick up some local beer. It's amazing places like this that rely on the honor system still exist today. And for us, it summed up the simple beauty of life in the Cotswolds. Bourton-on-the-Water is one of the more popular towns in the Cotswolds. With pubs, cafes, and shops, and a water view, it's easy to see why. So while this town's a little bit more crowded, it's still very idyllic. You've got ducks floating in the water here. You've got the stream running right through the town. You got these elm trees cascading down to the water, little bridges that people can cross over. It's really, really pretty.
Lots of little hidden streets, really cute shops.
So you're not supposed to drive through, but the road keeps on going through the water. We're just in another little town called Lower Slaughter, and it is just picturesque. And there's nothing here except for a church, and I think that's a hotel, and with this beautiful stream running through it. It's just so perfect. So our final night, we decided to come to another one of Jeremy Clarkson's Grand Tour, Top Gear's endeavors, which is the Farmer's Dog Pub. What I like is his humor, but the reality is that what he's doing is super important because it's putting the spotlight on British farming as well as British-only foods. So there's no ketchup, no coffee, because they don't make them here in England. So it's all British, locally sourced, and that is super important for the local economy. As we were a bit tired and the pub was busy and loud, we decided to put the camera down and just enjoy the meal and the atmosphere.
Wow, that looks delicious.
Everything we ate was delicious and fresh, and we were happy to have supported the local farming community. At over 800 square miles, we just scratched the surface of the Cotswolds. Our 3 days here was everything we had wanted to be. It's just one of those perfect little towns. Stunning views, enjoyable walks, enchanting villages. And while we lucked out with the weather, we wouldn't hesitate to come here on a short break in any season.
It's super quiet.
That's a pretty spectacular view. Because its timeless quality is perfect for slowing down, reveling in its natural beauty, and of course, enjoying a pint or two.